For the second time in a week, a bank in crisis and markets on the edge. After the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, Credit Suisse, a far larger institution, bailed out by the Swiss central bank, which offered a £44 billion credit line overnight to calm global markets. Its largest shareholder said there was no need for alarm.
They're very well capitalized. I think if you look at what even the Swiss central bank said yesterday is that we've looked at all the ratios, they're all sound, everything is fine. Yeah. I don't think they'll need more capital. I think the markets are very skittish and they're looking for stories.
The investment bank has long been subject to allegations of tax evasion, money laundering and corporate espionage and lost billions in high-profile collapses. What concerns regulators and markets is the risk of contagion in the banking system as interest rates rise.
We've got that dual-pronged issue of central banks trying to fight an inflationary problem that's been building over the last couple of years, that's suddenly been knocked sideways by what potentially could have been quite a crisis of confidence in the banking system. And of course, confidence is the bedrock of banking activity.
The European Central Bank raised interest rates by half a percentage point despite concerns.
We are monitoring current market tensions closely. We stand ready to respond as necessary to preserve price stability and financial stability in the euro area.
And they're watching closely here. The Bank of England is monitoring the fallout from Credit Suisse and says the system here is much more robust than before the financial crisis. But it will give them something else to think about when they consider whether to raise interest rates next week, because as central banks around the world have pushed up rates to tackle inflation, it's exposed institutions and investors. We saw it here with the pensions market after the mini budget. The problem for regulators is they can't know where these landmines are buried and when or if they'll go off. 7 seismic days for banking began with the fall of Silicon Valley Bank. HSBC, which bought its British arm for £1, says consumers can have confidence.
Banks in the UK are in a very different place. And that's where you've got to really congratulate good, strong regulation. I know we sometimes complain about it, but it's good. And here we are now, we're in a safe place. Banks are very well capitalised, great liquidity pools. I think it's very different from 2008.
As the financial system adjusts to a new normal, this is unlikely to be the last spasm of concern. Paul Kelso, Sky News in the City of London.